हरे राम, राम राम हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोविंद राधे, जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा, जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंहा, जय गौरानीता गौरानीता जय गौरानीता, निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने, नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे, नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने, श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाप्रिये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुरी जल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिर श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तोद्ध्वान्तहारिणे, नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवराय ते, गौराविर्भाव भूमि स्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जना प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्रीराधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतौ पंगुर्मम मंदेर्मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्भोजौ श्रीराधा मदनमोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् राससारम्भी वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुसुने गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Possible keep your videos on. Radhi Prabhu, Vishnu Gaur Prabhu, Maya Mataji, Mohini Mataji. Jumur not necessary because child is there. Others should keep your videos on. Okay. Now 14th verse onwards. So yesterday we saw the lakshanas or the characteristics of a person who is in the mode of goodness. So how is his gunas? He is in knowledge, he is in happiness, he is nirmala, he is anamayam tattvasaktam nirmalatvat. So his characteristic is he is in knowledge, he is in happiness. But these two things also bind him. Then we saw the mode of passion, Krishna Sanga Samudbhava. A lot of desires are there, longings are there. So these desires bind this person, a person in the mode of passion. Pramada, Alasya, Nidra, these three things bind a person in mode of ignorance. Now, what is the destination of a person who dies in the mode of goodness? And what is the destination for others also? Let us see. यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते। यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते। Yada comes, tada should come. Yada, tada. So yada means when, tada means at that time. So yada, when, sattve pravruddhe, one who has developed mode of goodness, pralayam. So when pralayam, when he dies, what happens? Yati deha bhrita tada. So this deha bhrit, that means one who is embodied, that is the soul, Uttama Vidan. He gets a planet, Uttama Vidan Lokan. He gets a planet of the great sages. He gets a planet of the great sages. And Amalan Pratipadyate, in this way, there he attains this wonderful Nirmalatvat, that is his nature. A person who is in the mode of goodness, his nature is what? Nirmalatvat. He is sinless, he is pure, Anamayam, he is sinless. That is why he will go to the planet where the sages dwell and where he will only find purity. Okay, Krishna Priya Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehabhrit tadottamavitham lokan amalan pratipajyate. Translation. When one dies in the modes of goodness, he attains to the pure higher planets of the great sages. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One in goodness attains higher planetary systems like Brahma Loka or Jana Loka, and there enjoys godly happiness. The word Amalan is significant. It means free from the modes of passion and ignorance. There are impurities in the material world, but the mode of goodness is the purest form of existence in the material world. There are different kinds of planets for different kinds of living entities. Those who die in the mode of goodness are elevated to the planets where great sages and great devotees live. Hare Krishna.
Now what happens when a rajas person, a person in the mode of passion dies, person in the mode of ignorance die? Where they go? What is the destination? Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गीषु जायते यत्तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते. Said the birds of the same feather flock together. Buddhas will go with Buddhas. Sinless person will go with sinless person. One who is more interested in doing all the karmic activities, he will actually get such association only. So Rajasi Pralayam. Here Pralayam refers to when he dies. Gatva, he attains. Karma Sangishu, he attains the association of those who are engaged in the fruitive activities. He takes birth. Tatha Pralinaha Tamasi. So when an ignorant person or a person in mode of ignorance, he dies, Mudha Yonishu, he gets birth in animal species. That is why human body is a chance to rectify our modes. There's only one thing which is changeable among the 4 subject matters. In the beginning, you would have seen there are 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. Anyone knows? Who will tell us 5 subject matters?
Prakriti, Jiva, Super Soul, Time and Kal,
Karma.
one more, Karma.
Karma. First 4 are eternal. That is God, soul, then Kala, matter. This is eternal. The 5th one, that is karma, that is changeable. So karma is dependent on the modes. That is why if we have association, if we surrender to Krishna, then even these modes become helpful in performing such activity which will not bind us. Yagyathat karmano nitra lokoyam karma bandhana. Tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Karmas bind. But then, yakyathat, if you do it for Krishna, naturally for doing an activity, you need modes. So whatever modes we have got, we can improve those modes just by surrendering our activity to Krishna service. That is how acharyas, how they deal, how they see a person. They see a person in clutches of the modes. So that is why they are the best doctors. What they do, they try to improve the situation, improve the modes by engaging a person in Krishna's service. If a person is passionate, a person is ignorant. Slowly, by improvising the modes, the person becomes surrendered to Krishna. Naturally, when he performs pure devotional service, slowly, under the guidance of the spiritual master, he can cross these modes. Sagunan samatitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Sagunan samatitetan. He crosses the 3 modes of material nature. Okay. Dayasagar Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tata pravinas tamasi muda yonishu jayate. When one dies in the mood of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. And when one dies in the mood of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance, After his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness and in the good association transcend the mode and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
that is how Prabhupada emphasizes what is the aim of human life. If a person has got a wonderful human body, this is the time to rectify ourselves. No doubt in different species, we have been under the clutches of the modes of material nature. And with that modes, we have got different life impressions and we have come in this human body at last. So this is the time to rectify. How to use these modes in Krishna service. We can use every mode in Krishna service. Using and in clutches. There's a lot of difference. In clutches means he is forced to do. Using means he can choose which mode to use in different services of Krishna. Because every mode is subservient to Krishna. It is Krishna who is the authority of Adhishtan. Prakriti Adhishtanam. He is the Adhishta. Adhishtan means he is the superintendent of all the three modes. So we can use the modes in Krishna service. Even ignorance can be used in Krishna service. Passion can be used in Krishna service. Goodness can be used in Krishna service. All the three modes should be used in Krishna service. Then a person surpasses the three modes of material nature. Like if a person is a temple commander, naturally he has to take care of various departments. He has to even deal with lowest workers also. At that time, he cannot be very soft to them. He has to be hard. He has to be strict. So that time he will be using a particular mode. So there are different ways to deal with people, deal with the matter. While dealing with the matter, these three modes come in use. That is why pure devotional service teaches us how to use the modes in Krishna's service. Karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. Karmanaha sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. Karmanaha sukrutasyahu. So what is the result? Now the results are been, so destination has been given. Now what is the result of performing a pious activity? What is the result of performing actions in the mode of passion? What is the result of performing action in the mode of ignorance? So this verse speaks about it. Karmanaha sukrutasyahu. Sukrutasya. That means the person who is performing a pious activity or a mode of goodness. So what is the result? Satvikam nirmalam. So the result is nirmalam. Because the intention behind or the consciousness behind performing a pure activity, naturally the result also will be pure only. So Satvikam Nirmalam Phalam. So his phalam is how? It is very purified phalam. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. What is the result of a person who performs actions in mode of passion? He will only suffer dukkham, because lot of anxiety is required when a person performs action in mode of passion. So much of desires, longings, anxiety. Actually, what happens? His body is also troubled and he experiences only dukkha. Lot of anxiety. With anxiety, you cannot do anything. Like a small example. With an anxiety, you cannot even enter your small kitchen. With an anxiety, a child cannot study. A mind has to be peaceful for everything. It has to be focused. Anxiety means somewhere your thought process goes here also. Here also. I want to do multiple things. I want to have so many results at a time. I want to have so much of fortune. How much I want to have so much of success. So multiple thought processes, multiple anxieties only create disturbances. And because he's not focused, there will be only misery. And what about a person in the mode of ignorance? It doesn't work on, beg for a steal. At least passionate person who works, suffers misery. This person, what is the result? In foolishness. What you can expect from a mad person, a lazy person? He is only be fooled. He is a foolish person. A person in mode of tamas or in mode of ignorance. He is a foolish person. You cannot expect anything out of him. At least this person is experiencing dukkha. This person is full, like drug addicts. Srila Prabhupada went, they're drug addicts. Once in a year, they used to take bath. They don't know actually what is misery, what is sukha. Just fooled. They are foolish people. A self-realized soul, they are compared to buffaloes. You know that? A self-realized soul is unaffected by any happiness or any misery. A buffalo is also unaffected if in criticism or in praise, because a buffalo is compared to tamas. It is said, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. At least that person will be in bliss, thinking that, oh, whatever I'm experiencing is bliss. That is how he is being fooled. Or knowledge is bliss. In middle, who comes? Passionate person comes. Either you be in full knowledge, experience bliss, or you be ignorant, experience bliss, because he thinks that that is bliss. For him, charas, ganja, that is bliss. Sleeping whole day is a bliss. But what is he doing? He is fooling himself. And what is that foolishness? He is just wasting his time. The other person, passionate person, he works so hard, thinks that I'm utilizing the time, but he only lands up in a miserable condition. And a Satoguna person, he is so focused. He does all the activity in pure goodness, that is by experiences happiness. Okay, Aneja Prabhu, please read the purports.
Hare Krishna. Karmana sukrat syahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamsa phalam. Translation. The result of pious action is pure and is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action done in the mode of passion results in misery, and action performed in the mode of ignorance results in foolishness. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The result of pious activities in the mode of goodness is pure. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. But activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. The Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so-called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness.
Okay,
As far
so this
as
is
the
not
mode,
a happiness. So I have got so much, I have got this much, I have got a house, I have got this much money. But that is not real happiness. Okay, Moini Mataji, please read. Read from here. It's a big purport, so you can share. After that, Kanchan Bhaktani Mataji can read. Mute your phones, mute your phones. Nupama. Yes, Moini Mataji, read. Okay, Kanchan Mataji, read Kanchan Bhaktani.
Ji Mataji.
Padi.
If, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper,
Yan Mohini.
so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus, Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so called mental happiness. I have this house or this money, but this is not actual happiness. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery. And afterwards, he will go on towards animal life. Animal life is always miserable, although under the spell of illusory energy, Maya. The animals do not understand this. Slaughtering poor animals is also due to the mode of ignorance. The animal killers do not know that in the future the animal will have a body suitable to kill him. That is the law of nature. In human society, if one kills a man, he has to be hanged. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is the son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So, indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kind of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, Rig Veda 9.46.4, the words Gopiha Pranita Matsaram indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, is desirous of killing the cow is in the grossest ignorance. There is also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states Namo Brahmanaya Devaya Go Brahmanaya Hitraya Cha Jagadityaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Nama.
It is
My
like this.
Lord,
Namo Brahmana Deva Brahmana.
Namo
Brahmanya.
Brahmana
Brahmanya
Devaya
Devaya. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha.
Go Brahmana Hitaya
Hitaya Cha
Cha
Jagaditaya Krishnaya.
Jagaditaya Krishnaya
Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah.
Govindaya Namo Nama.
This
My
we
Lord,
offer, while offering to Lord, we pray this, no? Namo Brahmana Devaya, Go Brahmana Jagaditaya.
Ji, Ji Mataji.
Mm.
My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Purana 1.19.65. The purport is that special mention is given in that prayer for the protection of the cows and the brahmanas. Brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and cows are the symbol of the most valuable food. These two living creatures, the brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next lives is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. Hare Krishna.
No, now a society has started. The name is vegan. Vegan, I'm right?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
So it is a stupid society actually, which is actually propagating a wrong thing. Yes, true, you don't have any Jersey cow milk, But Deshi cow milk should be taken. If we don't take that, what happens is the udder is full of milk. The small baby calf cannot take full milk. If it takes full milk, the stomach will be disturbed and the baby calf dies. One or two cases happened in our Goshala also, where this baby mutophones. So this baby calf, it was let loose. It went on, went on. What happened? Next day, it died. The baby calf cannot drink more milk. It is like human only. But the babies cannot take more milk from mother's breast. Now the mother's breast is swollen because of the milk. The same way the cow's udder is swollen because of lot of milk. If it is not removed, the cow will suffer. It will suffer the pain because of the hardening of the breast, hardening of the udder. So this vegan society is actually a cruel society. It is a cruelty towards the mother cow. And it is undernourishment of their brains. Those who are in this society, they are stupid, useless people. Their brains will never be nourished. What it should say is, don't take milk of Jersey cows. Because Jersey cow milk is half pig's DNA is there. It is pig's milk, you can say. It is a combination of cow and pig. That is why Jersey is not nature's cow. So we can stop that, but we have to encourage cow milk. Again, cow milk is taken only after feeding the calf in a natural process. You cannot pump out the milk. That is also a wrong process. So if we really want to help the cows, we should do it in a proper way. Just by becoming a sentimentalist, oh no, this belongs to the calf. What about the remaining milk because of which the mother cow is suffering? So knowledge is very much important. Sometimes we find people out of foolishness, they do all these types of propagandas. You cannot call them sattvic people because satoguna, the whole satoguna lies in the milk. Milk is the source of satoguna. That is why satoguna people, they love milk, they love curd, they love milk products. Mode of passion, mode of ignorance. They will go away from this. So whatever slogans, all these things are there, you should understand they are actually in the mode of passion or ignorance. Whenever cow comes, we should at least speak of something about the cows. Because we have our Goshala where we have 200 cows. And these 200 cows are very nicely nourished. They're not bound the whole day. We take them out and they are so wonderful cows. They are grown in nature. There's something like growing in tabelas. Now these tabela cows, in the cow shed, in the tabelas, what they do is they have AC also and they give the diet which is for a human just because they want to pump more milk. That is also harmful for the cows. We should give cow fodder only. Whatever cow fodder is there, that much only we should give. It is said there are 4 nipples in the udder. 2 nipples go for human and 2 nipples are for the baby calf. That is the rule. 2 than बच्चे के लिए, 2 than मनुष्य के लिए. That is how 4 nipples are being given by Krishna. Brahmaji in the Srishti himself has made 4 nipples for the cow. So this all we have to understand. And as we are all in the path of devotional service, it is our duty to protect Vedic Dharma. And Vedas are based on protection of mother cow. Brahmanas. Brahmanas are the products of taking mother cow's milk. Or Brahmana society cannot nourish. Namo Brahmana Deva, Go Brahmana Hitaya, Jagat Ditaya Krishna, Go Govindaya Namo Brahmana Devaya. He is the Lord of Brahmanas. Now, Srila Prabhupada, He wants everybody to become Brahmanas. Brahmaniti janati Brahmanaha. Be inclined in studying the scriptures. And for studying the scriptures, naturally one should have a lot of satoguna. Sattam sanjayate jnanam. Buddhas cannot study. How can a Buddha person study scriptures? If you eat some passionate, if you eat some food which is stale food, it is in the dabba, canned food, which is never open for 3 months, and you're eating this canned food, spiders inside, or what crabs and all inside, such bad food. How can he have such type of intelligence to take Shastras? It is why what is the attempt of Srila Prabhupada? To create such a society, a Vedic civilization, where everybody will study the scriptures. Now this week, studying the books, studying the Shastras, that is the week which is now going on. Everybody should spend at least 1 hour, if not 1 hour, at least half an hour. So this Bhakti Shastri becomes helpful to study the scriptures, isn't it? At least for 1 hour, you're studying the scriptures. And you can revise the same when you are free. You can read other books also of Srila Prabhupada, like Bhagavad. So more and more classes make us occupy in studying the scriptures. Naturally, for studying the scriptures, you need a lot of satoguna. And satoguna can come only by drinking milk, only by mother cow. So drinking milk, taking curds, taking buttermilk, taking ghee, this is all very, very important, especially cow ghee. You will say, I find some tin in the market. Don't go for that. That is all dangerous ghee, which is only causing a lot of problems. So for any further inquiry, you can call me. Because if I start speaking, then I'll start speaking on ghee, I'll start speaking on milk, curd. So you'll say where it is available. It is available with us. Don't worry. Everything can be provided to you. It can go out of India, anywhere in the world. We can provide you the best cow ghee ever prepared in this planet. Such a nice, wonderful cow ghee we are preparing. Okay. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobhaivacha pramadamohau tamaso bhavato jnanamevacha. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam sattvat. Now, what develops? Now, see, Krishna is speaking the same thing. First was, what are the characteristics of a person mode of goodness? In other modes. What is the result of their work? And then, what is the destination? That is okay. What is the result of their work? And now, what develops? What develops from mode of goodness? Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. We just now said, Sattvam sanjayate jnanam. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam. From the mode of goodness, what develops? Jnanam develops. Knowledge develops. Without sattva guna, knowledge cannot come. Because a sattva person, he has a tendency to wake up early. One who wakes up in Brahma Muhurta, understand he is in the mode of goodness. One who wakes up a little late, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, he is in the mode of passion. One who wakes up after 12, he is a mode of tamas. First, by waking up timing only, we can identify this person is in which guna. If you really want to be in sattva guna, first thing is wake up early in the morning. It's very important because in the morning hours, you have a lot of sattva guna in the atmosphere and you can take it. One is trying to take it through your nourishments. One is trying to take it from the nature itself. Nature has so much of sattva guna, especially in the Brahma Muhurta, 3:30, 2:30 itself it starts, 2:30, 3 o'clock it starts. From that time to practically 7 o'clock, you have a lot of sattva guna. At that time, whatever you do, that will only give you wonderful results. Chant, study. So chanting is the first thing which you have to do. Take bath, chant. Sattva person first takes bath. Rajoguna person passes time. He will just pass time in anxiety. This to do, that to do. that. So much of anxiety, so much of anger, so much of all these things come during Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Anyhow, he doesn't want to get up. What is the use of even his waking up at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock? So, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam, Rajaso Lobha Evacha. From mode of passion, what happens? Greed develops. And Pramada Moha Tamasav, from Agyanam, Bhavato Agyanam Evacha, from mode of ignorance, what develops? Foolishness, madness, and illusion. So this is all. Again, the same thing is repeated. So what is the cause? The same thing is the cause. What is the result? Same thing is the result. What develops? Same thing develops. Sattva guna is because of the knowledge and purity he has. The result is also the same. And what he develops real knowledge. Okay. Hansurupi Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramad moho tamaso bhavato jnanamevacha. Translation. From the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. From the mode of passion, greed develops. And from the mode of ignorance, develop foolishness, madness, and illusion. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since the present civilization is not very congenial to the living entity, Krishna consciousness is recommended. Though Krishna consciousness, society will develop the mode of goodness. When the mode of goodness is developed, people will see things as they are. In the mode of ignorance, people are just like animals and cannot see things clearly. In the mode of ignorance, for example, they do not see that by killing one animal, they are taking the chance of being killed by the same animal in the next life. Because people have no education in actual knowledge, they become irresponsible. To stop this irresponsibility, education for developing the mode of goodness of the people in general must be there. When they are actually educated in the mode of goodness, they will become sober, in full knowledge of things as they are. Then people will be happy and prosperous, even if the majority of the people aren't very happy and prosperous. If a certain percentage of population develops Krishna consciousness and becomes situated in the mode of goodness, then there is a possibility for peace and prosperity all over the world. Otherwise, if the world is devoted to the mode of passion and ignorance, there can be no peace or prosperity. In the mode of passion, people become greedy and the hankering for sense enjoyment has no limit. One can see that even if one has enough money and adequate arrangements for sense gratification, there is neither happiness nor peace of mind. That is not possible because one is situated in the mode of passion. If one wants happiness at all, his money will not help him. He has to elevate himself to the mode of goodness by practicing Krishna consciousness. When one is engaged in the mode of passion, not only is he mentally unhappy, but his profession and occupation are also very troublesome. He has to devise so many plans and schemes to acquire enough money to maintain his status quo. This is all miserable. In the mode of ignorance, people become mad, being distressed by the circumstances. They take shelter of intoxication, and thus they sink further into ignorance. Their future in life is very dark. Hare Krishna.
So Srila Prabhupada very rightly says, money is not going to make somebody happy. For money, though he may be spending his whole life troubling himself, troubling his body so much, working so hard, money is not going to make a person happy. Happiness lies in the mode of goodness. Only a person who is in the mode of goodness can really enjoy his life by being happy. Enjoyment lies in happiness. Though people in the mode of passion, they may think, oh, if I have 2 bungalows, 3 bungalows, 2 cars, 3 cars, 10 cars, that is not real happiness. That is only going to cause more distress, more trouble. This is very clearly given. Now again, see 18th verse and the destination of those destination of like 14th or 15th verse, it is a similar verse. What is the destination, or where will he go after death? Similar verse. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसा. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था. There 14th verse, what was told? The person in the mode of goodness after death will go to the planets where sages live, isn't it? Where there is anamayam, where there is nirmalam. So where is this? In the upper planets. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasa jaganya guna vrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. So 18th verse of 14th chapter speaks about what is the destination, or where is this higher planets? They are upwards, they go upwards. Urdhvam, they go upwards to the higher planets. Madhye tishtanti rajasa. Those in the mode of passion, they live on the earthly planet. So those who are living on the earthly planets, are they all in the mode of passion? Majority. Majority are in the mode of passion. Very few are in the mode of goodness. When the passion increases, that leads to tamas. Passion and tamas, they are categorized like when passion increases extremely and his desires go on, and he's not able to fulfill. Naturally, what happens? He becomes more in delusion. First he was in illusion, then he goes in delusion, and then starts pramada, alasya, mitra. So that is the more degradation of a passionate person. And those in the mode of jaganya guna vrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. So person in the mode of passion, tamas, he goes in the lower planetary systems, in the hellish worlds. They go in the hellish world. So purport. Kanchan Mishra Mataji, please read.
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम. ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्य गुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. Translation: Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, the result of action in the three modes of nature and more explicitly set forth. There is an upper planetary system consisting of the heavenly planets, where everyone is highly elevated. According to the degree of development of the mode of goodness, the living entity can be transferred to various planets in the system. The highest planet is Satyaloka or Brahmaloka, where the prime person of this universe, Lord Brahma, resides. We have seen already that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka, but the highest condition of life, the mode of goodness, can bring us to this. The mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle between the modes of goodness and ignorance. A person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in the mode of passion, he will simply remain on this earth as a king or a rich man. But because there are mixtures, one can also go down. People on this earth in the mode of passion or ignorance cannot forcibly approach the higher planets by machine. In the mode of passion, there is also the chance of becoming mad in the next life. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance, is described here as the abominable. The result of developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life, birds, beasts, reptiles, trees, etc. And according to the development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. The word tamsah is very significant here. The tamsah indicates those who stay continuous.
Tamasaha.
Tamsaha. Tamsaha indicates those who stay continuously in the mode of ignorance. Without rising to a higher mode, their future is very dark. There is an opportunity for men in the mode of ignorance and passion to be elevated to the mode of goodness. And that system is called Krishna consciousness. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in the lower modes. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada just wants to always say, yes, he finds every opportunity just to speak one thing. Be in Krishna consciousness. Be in Krishna consciousness. You see, every paragraph ends with this. That is what is Srila Prabhupada's purpose. That's why Srila Prabhupada's purpose elevates a person. Even if he is in the lowest mode, he can be elevated to Satoguna and then go even beyond Satoguna. 19th verse. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vitti madbhavam sodhikachati. Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanupashyati gunebhyascha param vitti madbhavam Sodhi gacchati na. Na anyam, other, gunebhya, than the qualities, kartaram, performer, yada when, drishta is here, anupashyati. So when a person sees that all these activities, it's only the gunas which is the performer and nobody else is the performer. Except for the gunas, no one else is a performer. If this person is able to see that, and also param vetti madbhavam, he knows the supreme and he can attain, he becomes transcendental to the gunas and he can attain a spiritual nature. That means he doesn't consider himself as the karta. He knows it is the modes of material nature which is actually acting upon him. So a self-realized soul, when he deals with people, what is he seeing? He is not seeing him as a performer, because a soul, the nature of the soul is he doesn't have thirst, he doesn't have hunger, he is sinless. So we know that 8 qualities of the soul. He is sinless, he is deathless, he has no thirst, he has no hunger, he has no lamentation, etc. So these are the nature of the soul. So when a person meets, when a self-realized soul meets a person who is occupied in different types of modes, so what is he seeing there? That the soul is embodied in the Prakriti to such an extent that the particular mode is acting upon him. He is not seeing him, but he is seeing that how these modes are acting upon him and making or forcing him to perform certain activities. So that seer is actually a doctor, isn't it? That seer is a doctor and he knows the Lord, and that is how he can uplift that person to come out of those modes and engage him in the service of Lord. Thus he becomes transcendental and also he attains the nature of Lord. What is the nature of Lord? The nature of Lord is very compassionate. The same way, the self-realized soul is very compassionate. Just imagine, Prabhupada would not have been there. We would not have been studying here like this. Srila Prabhupada is so compassionate to the whole world. Acharyas are always compassionate. They are compassionate because they can see that a person is affected by the modes whatever happiness or whatever misery he is experiencing, it is only because of the influence of the modes onto him. So happiness is also binding, misery is also binding, foolishness is also binding in this material world. So he can see that even if a person is very happy, he can see what he can see. He can see that he is bound in such happiness. Okay, Vaishnav Gaur Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Mate. नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं जदा दृष्टान् पश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति
गुणेभ्यश्च
गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति
Bhayascha
मद्भावं
is not there. Gunebhya. It is not bhaya.
गुणेभ्यश्च.
Bhyascha.
When one properly sees that in all activities, no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One can transcend all the activities of the modes of material nature simply by understanding them properly, by learning from the proper source. The real spiritual master is Krishna, and he is imparting this spiritual knowledge to Arjuna. Similarly, it is from those who are fully in Krishna consciousness that one has to learn this science of activities in terms of the modes of nature. Otherwise, one's life will be misdirected. By the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, a living entity can know of his spiritual position, his material body, his senses, how he is entrapped, and how he is under the spell of material modes of nature. He is helpless, being in the grip of these modes. But when he can see his real position, then he can attain to the transcendental platform, having the scope for spiritual life. Actually, the living entity is not the performer of different activities. He is forced to act because he is situated in a particular type of body, conducted by some particular mode of material nature. Unless one has the help of spiritual authority, he cannot understand in what position he is actually situated. With the association of a bona fide spiritual master, he can see his real position. And by such an understanding, he can become fixed in full Krishna consciousness. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of the material modes of nature. It has already been stated in the 7th chapter that one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from the activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases. A man in Krishna consciousness is not controlled by the spell of the material modes of nature. It has already been stated in the 7th chapter that one who has surrendered to Krishna is relieved from the activities of material nature. For one who is able to see things as they are, the influence of material nature gradually ceases. Yet repeat over. Hare Krishna.
Mamevaye prapadyante mayayitam tarantike. Daivi hesha gudamayi mama maya duratya mamevaye prapadyante mayayitam tarantike. Whoever is surrendered to Krishna, Krishna makes him easily cross the 3 modes of material nature. Last verse. Gunanitan atityatrin Gunanitan atityatrin Dehi deha samud. Mute your phone. Dehi deha samudbhavan Janma mrityu jara dukkhair Vimukto mrtamashnute. Gunan etan atityatrin. See dirgha rasva, just take care when you are reading. Atitya. Atityatrin. Dehi dehasam bhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhair vimukto mrtamashnute. Amritam mashnute. Gunan etan atitya. Atitya means transcending. Gunan etan atityatrin. There are three gunas. If a person transcends the gunas, who can transcend the guna? 19th verse speaks about it. One who sees that it is the modes who is the doer and who knows about Lord, that person attains the nature of Lord and he can cross these three gunas. He attains his eternal constitutional position. So now, when an embodied being is able to transcend these three modes of material nature, Dehi Deha, Samudbhavan, then what happens? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Dukkha, Vimuktaha. He becomes free from Janma, Mrityu, Jara, and Dukkha. He never becomes old. Srila Prabhupada, when people used to meet Prabhupada, they used to think, oh, is he really beyond 70 years? Such a dynamic personality. So a devotee never becomes old because his mind is always young. Tukaram says in the bhajan also, Lahanpani Dega Deva, oh Krishna, let me be always a child before you. When we become old, when we take a lot of anxieties, you leave all the anxieties to Krishna. It is said, Arjuna used to sleep very nicely. Even in the war also used to get nice sleep. But Duryodhana, on the contrary, spent many sleepless nights. But Arjuna used to sleep very peacefully, just because Arjuna left everything in Krishna's lotus feet. A devotee is never in anxiety. Yes, he is in anxiety for Krishna. That means he wants to do everything for Krishna. But that anxiety will only give bliss. So here, Gunan Etan Atityatrin Dehi Deha Samudbhavan Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi or Jara Dukkha Vimukto. He becomes free. Vishesha Rupena Muktaha. And then Amrutam Ashrute. He enjoys Amrita. Even in this life. Iha Yasya Harir Dasya Karmana Manasagira Nikhilashapi Avastasu Jivan Muktasa Uchate. 5.11 purport you have this. 5th chapter, 11th verse purport you have. Try to memorize this verse. Iha means in this lifetime itself, he is a free bird. He is a free bird. He is not at all in the clutches of the three modes of material nature. Iha Yasya Harir Dasya. He is Haridas, Harir Dasya. Karmana, Manasaha, Gira. By his activities, with his mind, with his body, he is just engaged 24 hours in Lord's service. Ihayasya Harir Dasya Karmana Manasa Gira. Nikhilashapi Avastasu Jivan Muktasa Uchate. Nikhilashapi Avastasu. In this lifetime itself, Avastasu Jivan Muktasa Uchate. He is completely free. And that is why he can experience the Amrita. Okay. Okay, Vandana Mataji, Vandana Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna. Gunan etan aditya trini dehi deha samabhuddhavan janam mrityu jara dukkher vimukto amritam ashnute. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in his life. Purport. How one can stay in the transcendental position, even in this body, in full Krishna consciousness, is explained in this verse. The Sanskrit word Dehi means embodied. Although one is within his material body, by his advancement in spiritual knowledge, he can be free from the influence of the modes of nature. He can enjoy the happiness of spiritual life even in his body, because after leaving his body, he is certainly going to the spiritual sky. But even in his body, he can enjoy spiritual happiness. In other words, devotional service in Krishna consciousness is a sign of liberation from material entanglement. And this will be explained in the 18th chapter. When one is freed from the influence of the modes of material nature, he enters into devotional service. Hare Krishna.
So if you remember in the second chapter, Sita Pragyasya Ka Bhasha, Samadhistasya Keshava, Sita Vikim Prabhasheta, Kimasita Brajeta. This was a question asked. How does a devotee or a person who is in knowledge, how is he, what is his body language, how he speaks, how he walks, how he sits. Now again the same question Arjuna is going to ask. How to understand? What are the symptoms of those who are transcendental to the three modes of material nature? How is his behavior? And how does he transcend? Okay, he has transcended, but how does he transcend? Just see the questions which is put by Arjuna. Any of that we are going to do from tomorrow only. So in tomorrow's class, we'll be doing this. But see how these questions are so wonderful. How to attain that stage? How did he attain? And then if he has attended that, how to understand that he has attended? How to recognize such person? How he has attained that stage and how to recognize that person? And then how is his behavior? Such wonderful questions are asked. Actually, that helps us in identifying a self-realized soul. All these questions are very helpful, and also it is very helpful to make us endeavor to come to that stage, isn't it? Okay. Any questions in this section you can ask? Actually, intentionally, I'm taking everyday class. That's because what happens is alternate classes. No? By the time one day goes, you are completely out of the topic. Then you have to come in the topic. At least a continuous class of 4 days makes you understand the subject very nicely. And little verses, like 7 verses are enough. Rushing about with 10 verses, 12 verses, I don't find any sense in that. Okay, yes, Prabhuji.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
The entire chapter here is about the three modes of material nature, how we come into contact with them. What is the first point of our coming into contact with the material nature? Is it that same answer that we wanted to enjoy separately from the Lord and then we come to the material nature? Is it the same answer?
Oh. Time immemorial is the answer. When it happened, how it happened, why it happened, okay, that is right. Oh, okay. How it happened, but when it happened.
Okay. Answer is that first time there must be some first soul who wanted to enjoy outside the Lord. Then he was exposed to the material nature. It happens like that only, no? It appears. Okay.
Yes. Not first soul. There are many souls like that. Actually, Sharajivas, there are many souls like that. Not just one soul.
No, I was thinking at least first soul will be who has fallen and gone to the material world. At least there will be one soul, no, startingly. So answer remains the same, that we wanted to enjoy differently from Krishna. That is how we landed in the earthly planet in the modes of material nature. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, there, Sagar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I think you told something like that all modes can be used for Krishna. So I'm interested to know, like how, for example, some example of
like I want to have.
Can be used. How mode of ignorance can be used, or something like this.
Okay.
Question.
Like when you go to common people, when you go to them, you cannot just directly start chant Krishna's name. People have to hear also, no? At that time, your behavior matters. You take the modes of goodness. You speak to them very nicely. At least you come to that platform. Try to do good to the people. Try to ask their difficulties. Generally, people see, oh, kitna acha aadmi hai. And then afterwards, like in a mode of passion, when you go to collect the funds, at that time, that passion should be there. Yes, I have to do. You build a temple, a lot of fundraising you have to do. Yes. You have to take a rest also. That is the time you use a mode of ignorance.
Mataji, the question was, when we are in the mode of ignorance, We are ignorant about ourselves. We are ignorant about the soul,
No,
about super
no, no,
soul.
no.
How
Not
we'll come to
necessary.
know that there is Krishna
Not-
and we should
not-
engage
not-
ourselves?
Not necessary. If you are using the mode of ignorance, you are not ignorant about your constitutional position. You are using. A person who uses the mode is not ignorant. One who is in the clutches is ignorant, even in the mode of goodness also is ignorant about his constitutional position. See, one is ignorance, that is tamas, and one is ajnana, that is ignorant. English is a very poor language actually to actually speak about this. Unaware. When you say ignorant, there is unaware. Unaware that he is servant of Krishna. Not all people who are in the mode of goodness, they are aware. They are unaware. That will be more nice word if you see. Because if you say ignorant again for you, that ignorance only will come. Awareness and awareness. Okay.
Mataji,
Hare
I
Krishna,
have
Mataji.
1 minute. Let me take Hans to people this question. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, is like as you just explained, and Anuja Prabhu also asked, like a jiva, as there all three modes of nature are there in that, and the percentage of each mode differs from where. But he's still a person who is in mode of goodness. He still has that passion and ignorance within him. Is it right or not?
Jiva is actually not in any modes. Jiva is always pure.
No, when he
Enclosed-
come into contact with Maya and then in
Maya,
material
yes.
world.
Then according to whatever impressions he has, he gets that mode. Goodness, passion, ignorance, permutation, combination. Sometimes one will increase, sometimes other will increase. How he nourishes this mode, it's up to him. Everybody has all the three modes. Now it is up to him which mode is he nourishing. Is he nourishing passion? Is he nourishing ignorance? Or is he nourishing goodness? Again, it depends upon your food habits also. It depends upon your association with other people also.
Yes.
So that is why generally we say that we want our children to mix with good people. Why? That will nourish his mode of goodness. If he mixes with ignorant people or a passionate person, naturally his also that particular mode will nourish. Three modes are given to everyone. According to previous life karmas, three modes are there. Now it is up to him how to nourish that particular mode. It's up to him what food habits he has to take.
Like
That is
one
why this is a
example.
proverb, Jaisa sang vaisa rang.
Yes. Or Jaisa an vaisa man. And all.
Jaisa
Mataji,
an,
once
vaisa man.
there's a in one of the Prabhupada's book I read, when Haridas, one of his disciples, who used to make his living by stealing only, and he used to land up jail every week and then do. And once when he saw cleaning this thing, he saw Prabhupada's hand in a picture with the Rolex watch. He wanted to steal that. He then, when he comes out, now when he comes into contact, he totally changed. It was from the mode of ignorance. He didn't even come to passion. He straight away went into the mode of goodness, and then he became great
That's a
disciple
power.
of Prabhupada.
There's a power of acharyas. They are like parasman, touchstone. Even when an iron comes, it turns into gold. There's a power of acharyas.
Yes. Mataji, these demigods, are they, when they, like you said, that when
Which
you
modes?
put mode, they go into the heavenly planet and then they enjoy. But when we hear
Passion
the
is,
stories of Indra, he is in mode of passion there.
yes, passion is predominant over there. By the same time, they have been given the task by Krishna. They are devotees. So naturally, they transcend these three modes. they can do it very easily. But that is a task given. Because they have to take care of the administration of heaven. And heaven means a lot of passion. What is that passion? Not that passion which is experienced in the earthly planet. Here only anxiety is there. That passion is enjoyment. When a person has done a lot of pious activity, which is insufficient to be awarded in this earthly planet, then they go to upper planets, especially in the heavenly planets. So what is the passion which they are experiencing? That is enjoyment out of their lot of pious activities. That pious activities result is they don't work like donkeys. Here what we are calling is passionate person is working hard, mudha, working like a donkey. That is here. That is the passion. The term passion has been defined in this earthly planet as lot of anxiety, lot of desires, unfulfilled desires, which is having a lot of anxiety and which is only causing misery. But that is why dukkharem ashashvatam. But Swarga is not told as dukkharem. It is abode of happiness. Lot of happiness is experienced there. So that passion definition is completely different. Yes, continue, Mataji.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, as you said that desi milk is very necessary for being in.
Again, you want me
mode
to
of-
speak. Wonderful. I seek opportunity to speak. Yeah.
So
Deshi cow
Mataji,
milk is very good, very wonderful.
yes,
You know,
Mataji,
our
but
Nainu Manchuri has become a brand ambassador for Deshi cow milk, for nose ghee, for the pure ghee, because she stands sloka so nicely. So all the parents are asking from where such intelligence is coming. So Chumur takes the right opportunity to speak about cow milk, cow ghee.
yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji, then if we are not finding that desi cow milk, then is there any substitute for that?
Where you stay? Where you stay?
Mataji, in UP, Gorakhpur.
Gorakhpur. We'll try to find for you nice pure Deshi cow milk.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Okay, anybody else? Daya Sagar Prabhu, you also want milk somewhere. Where do you stay, Prabhu?
Where? That would be
Acha,
nice.
our Chotu wants to, acha, 1 minute, 1 minute, Chotu, wait. Yes, Vandana Mataji, you had some doubt?
Mataji, I wanted to ask one query. This like fathers and Maulvis, Mataji, what they're in mode of what? Like, because they're preaching people and
Now, what type of
but
preaching they're doing? If the preaching is in the mode of ignorance, they're also in ignorance only. Any preaching which is not taking you in Krishna's service, which is not teaching you about God and being his servant, those teachings are in ignorance. So they may call themselves whatever. But
so
it depends now what type of preaching they're doing.
So for people who's been preached by them, it's very difficult to come into Krishna consciousness. So we are
Now it depends now. It depends on what type of preaching they do. Not that all fathers and all Maulvis they do wrong preaching. Not necessary. They may preach right also.
but they're all animal eaters, no, Mataji. They have non-veg.
Again, it depends. It is depends. There are people who don't take anything. There are people. It's not that everybody is the same. Now, when a jiva has been told, they are not told here, this jiva belongs to Hindus. No, they are not spoken like this. Krishna has spoken about a jiva. Krishna has not spoken about any religion. Religion is man-made. Religious instructions again is man-made. But when Lord gives instruction, that is for everyone, taking all the jivas into consideration. That is why we had a verse where it is said, a self-eliminated person will never categorize the jivas. He belongs to this community, that community.
So we were lucky.
Not all other religions or not a particular, not all Hindus are pure veg or pure non-veg. It depends. Yes, why you are lucky?
We should be finding ourselves blessed that we were born here in India as a Hindu and we're able to follow Krishna consciousness.
We are,
And
we
being
are
a vegetarian.
fortunate to be
Fortunate.
under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada.
Srila
Whether you are
Prabhupada,
born
yes.
in India, whether you are born in America, anywhere, if you have taken shelter of Krishna, you are fortunate. Bharat Bhumi te haila manusya janma yar, janma sarthak pari para parakar. Yes, being born in the Bharat Bhumi, you can take more advantage of it. That is the thing. Yes, Daya Sagar Prabhu, where you stay? You were answering, but I could not hear.
Switzerland.
Switzerland. What did you say?
That's yeah.
I don't know, you're not clear. Anupama, please tell.
Switzerland, Mataji.
Switzerland, okay. You heard proper. Okay.
Yeah. So we are interested to have ghee. Yeah. Why not? When there is opportunity, why not? Yeah.
I'll send. You send me the address, I'll send. The
Yes.
Chotu was very upset yesterday. Nainu, she said, I was waiting to chant the shloka. You did not ask me to chant. I said, I'm so sorry, I forgot. Chant.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Guru Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Bhuvasvaha, Tattvaturvarenyam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Yo Yo Prachodayat.
Hari Bol. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Sindhu Bevacha Patitaram Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Naina Manjiri ki jai. Hari Bol.